5 major issues that a designer will catch, but your architect may miss. Welcome, I'm Stephanie Jones with Design My Space. Here I'm going to be talking about things that a designer will catch that your architect is probably going to miss. I'm going to count down from 5 to 1, 1 being the most major issue that architects just don't usually think of. Number 5 is lighting. A lot of architects are really good at this, but they don't think about lighting in the sense that maybe a designer would. For instance, in a kitchen, a designer might want to put the lighting or track lighting right above the base cabinets, which means that it brings like a nice stream of light right over the cabinetry. Whereas an architect, for functionality's sake, might just put it in the walkway between an island and cabinetry. But a designer will kind of go over that with you, whereas an architect will just do it because that's kind of what you're supposed to do. Number 4 is creative space or space planning, in general, utilizing all the space. Generally speaking, an architect will most likely, I'm generalizing obviously, but a lot of our architects will just kind of take the road of least resistance with this. If I see an extra space that could be used as a nook or be used as a extra storage space, I utilize it. Whereas an architect might just close it off and leave it as dead space inside of a wall. I will find a creative way to use that because to me it's very important to maximize your space. For instance, in this house, my personal house, it was built in the 80s. And at the time it was really popular to have like a bar area, and it's large. It was really large. And we don't necessarily need that, but we did need a pantry. So our architect didn't even think of this. He was just gonna renovate it as bar space and, kind of put shelving in there. Whereas me as the designer, I was able to utilize that space and make it into a really beautiful functional pantry for my family right off of the kitchen. So number 4 would definitely be creative space, utilizing all your space, etc. Most architects don't think that way. All right, number 3 is family functionality. Maybe some designers don't even think this way, to be honest, but I do. I have a family, and so when I design, I want to always think of how it functions within your family. Especially for me, I want the functionality to be it's pivotal for me, because how my family functions as a family isn't necessarily how your family functions. Maybe you want a certain child or younger children to be on your first floor, or maybe you want to be on the same floor as your kids or on separate floors. That's what I mean by family functionality. Does your family sit down for a formal dinner all the time, or do they watch TV and eat? We can put that in the plans. You can design your entire home renovation around how your family functions. That's why I made that number 3. I think that's a really key thing that a lot of architects mix is family functionality. All right, number 2, we're almost to 1, but number 2 is mobility. How you move and operate within your space. Again, architects will normally just take the road of least resistance. A good example, again, in my own personal home, because my architect did a plan, it was a great plan, but he just didn't think of certain things that a designer or someone who, operates in a space, how I would want to use it. And so that's one major thing is this mobility aspect, right? Is we had our owner suite had a door that went right into the dining room. And so I spent days kind of creatively thinking on how to not have a door in my dining room to my master bedroom, because what if I'm changing or something? I don't want people to be seeing right into my bedroom. So I came up with the idea of creating a little entryway nook. So you have like a little entryway, and then you have the office door to one side and my bedroom to the other side. That way you don't see right into my bedroom right from the dining room. That to me is mobility, how you operate in your space. Super key, not always something an architect or engineer or general contractor will think of and do for your space. All right, and the most important, in my opinion, number 1 is practicality. Again, not all engineers, they're very technical, which is beautiful. It's such a different job than a designer, and so is a contractor. All 3 jobs are so vastly different, but practicality is so key for a designer. It's how you are able to, like in the kitchen, for instance, you need your kitchen to be practical. You have to make dinner for your family. You want it to be practical. Quite frankly, an engineer is not going to be thinking of how you cook your food for your family. They're not going to be thinking of how you entertain. They're not going to be thinking of, hey, are there 10 people in your kitchen while you cook, or is it just you? Or do you want to grab stuff from the fridge and put it here? A designer knows all of those ins and outs of the practicality of your space. And so the designer is really going to be focusing on making sure that your space is practical for you. An engineer, architect is not necessarily looking for that. They're just gonna put a kitchen together. This is where range should go. This is where this should go. Even just like pull-out options for your kitchen, that's a practical use. Do you want, the special pull-out drawers? A designer will ask you those questions and put that in your plans, and an architect engineer just won't think of that kind of stuff. All right, well, I hope you guys liked my countdown of 5 major issues that a designer will catch that an architect will not. Comment below some of the things in your house that you miss on this. Practicality, mobility, that could have been caught, or maybe that you would like to change. I wanna hear what you guys are talking about or what's going on in your space. If you have a space that you want me to design, I would love to design it for you. I will do it for free. If you go to the link below, it'll take you to my Busted Cribs website, and there you can fill it out, put some pictures in there. That way I can see what your space looks like, and I can design your space here on my channel. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.